We're ready to go.
Okay. All right. So it is 7:13. I'll call this meeting of the Board of Commissioners to order. John, can you do roll call for us, please?
Sure. President Franklin.
Here. Oh, my camera's not on.
Mr. Colbert. Mr. Duckett.
Here.
Mr. Hanchett.
Here.
Mr. Lott.
Here.
Town Administrator Carl Snyder.
Here.
Police Chief David Burst.
Here.
Public Works Director Darnell Bond.
Here.
Town Clerk John Hodson here.
We will stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we'll move on to a review of the agenda. John, can you go over the topics for us, please?
Yep, let me do that real quick. Tonight we have, let me go forward a little bit. Hold on. Okay, tonight we're going to do ordinance 2022-05, establishment of vacant property and agricultural taxes, board vote. Charter Amendment Resolution 01-2022, amending section 82-45, lapse of appropriations, introduction. C is ordinance 2022-06, procurement, introduction. D is resolution 2022-20, policy on town credit cards, invoice payments, and deposits, introduction. E, request for proposals, facilities cleaning firm, board vote. F, request for proposals, media relations firm, board vote. G, bylaws, Town of Upper Marlboro Arts Council, board vote. And H, December 2022 meeting and office closure schedule, board vote.
Thank you. Are there any changes or additions to the agenda? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
John, can you call the vote, please?
I sure will. President Franklin.
Aye.
Commissioner Colbert. Commissioner Duckett.
Aye.
Commissioner Hanchett.
Aye.
Commissioner Lott.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, so we will move on to reports. We'll start with the Arts Council. I see Kathy Anderson is here. I know she's here to report on the Green Team. I don't know, Janice, if you want to report or you would like her to report because she's also on the Arts Council.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't want to put her on the spot, but if she wants to say something, you know, because there was a lot of hard work put into this event that came that did not materialize. So yeah, if Kathleen wants to comment on that and bring us up to date, that'd be great.
We will give Kathy the mic and Janice will do the report if we're putting you on the spot, Kathy, we promise.
Right.
Oh, wait, hold on. Oh,
Sorry.
that's okay. I'm trying to allow her to talk. Yep. Okay. Ms. Anderson, you're on. Kathy Anderson, are you there?
I think your mic is unmuted. Yeah, you should be, there, you're good. You should be able to talk right now. Okay. Not sure what's going on there.
Oh.
Can we,
Let me try it again. Let me try to ask to unmute. Okay. Can you hear us now?
Okay, well,
I know that she wants to talk to us about something for the green team. So maybe if Kathy, if you can kind of like restart your computer or while Janice gives the arts report out so that you can be back in and we can try it again for the green team report out. Don't know if she heard me. Hopefully.
yeah, that's our hand. Well, that's our
Okay.
hand change or something.
All right. Commissioner
But-
Deck, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It'll be great when she comes back in so she can just, if there's anything she wants to add. But the event this weekend was canceled due to just a lack of vendor support. There was another event that was going on that they also were competing with, but that planning had started well in advance, and I just think they put so much hard work into getting this off the ground. It would have been the second annual Happy Leaf Arts Festival event, so they're looking to come back and do something next year, but it was postponed on Saturday. So yeah, sad, but something else will come about. So yeah. And if she wants to add anything else to that, then, she can talk about it when she comes back on for cert, I guess. But that's all I have.
Kathy, are you able to talk now? Draft. Well, I have an email from her with what she wanted to say tonight. If we can't get her talking, I will read that.
Let me see. Hold on. Here she is. Okay, hold on. Let me try to get her to talk. Hold on.
Okay, can you all hear me now?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, the third time's a charm. Okay, so what did I miss?
We were just talking about the cancellation of the Happy Leaf Festival.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
I could just keep going with that. We only had 2 vendors sign up. One of them was me. And the issue turned out to be that Washington, D.C. had a huge weekend, massive free arts event that did not end until 2-3 o'clock in the morning. So many of the artists that we could have expected were most likely to have been at that event. And that's
All right.
what we believe happened.
Does anyone mind, sorry, if I switch up the order and allow Kathy to do the green team since she's already on and we don't make her bounce like a tennis ball? Well, we'll let you, Kathy, just go right into the green team report.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll try and make it brief. Again, I'm Kathy Anderson representing the green team tonight. The updates for you all on September 9th, 2022, the Green Team, in conjunction with Ujamaa Cooperative Farming Alliance, held a Good Agricultural Practices workshop at Town Hall, provided by University of Maryland Extension. The class did well and was attended by town residents, Ujamaa members, and small farmers and gardeners from Baltimore to Washington, D.C. There is a current waiting list for future class. It's in the planning process. We hope to hold the class in November, depending on schedules. The Green Team ongoing efforts include the community garden at Providence St. John Baptist Church, which is being transitioned into the fall season, and planning for the farmers market to be held October 29th to take advantage of the Washington International Horse Show at the Showplace Arena. The farmers market team has been working hard on various tasks ranging from designing flyers, setting rules, creating the application, and generating volunteer support. It is expected that local small farmers, gardeners, crafters, bakers, and other farm-themed artisans and creatives would participate. Based on recent experiences with farmers markets and arts events in the county, we expect that most vendors would sell low-price produce and items that range from $1 to $5 and mid-price items ranging from $10 to $20. In consideration that this is the first Town of Upper Marlboro's farmers market, we propose a low application fee to generate interest and to set a price for future monthly markets in the town. Nearby markets have ranged from no cost to for one event to $20 for the entire summer and fall season. I believe, as well as team members, that we would gain lackluster vendor support if fees were too high to generate a small profit for the 4-hour event. Therefore, we kindly request that the town waive the standard vendor fees and allow for a $25 vendor fee for the inaugural farmers market. And I close with that.
Myself. Thank you, Kathy. I was going to say, can we just discuss this now, John, Kyle, or do we need to discuss it at the end?
I think you can discuss it now, because it's on the, I mean, you're talking about it right now, so you might as well, you can discuss it.
Yeah.
So how do we feel about granting Kathy's request on behalf of the Green Team?
Yes, I'm in total support of that. To move the first annual, I
Forward.
forgot what to call it. Thank you. Yes, yes. Yeah.
I think it's a good move.
Okay. I think the three of us are good with it. Commissioner Lott, Commissioner Colbert, I see you guys are on here. Do you have any comments, disagree with us, or shall we just go forward and waive that fee to 25?
Hi, this is Commissioner Colbert. Sorry, I was a little bit late. Yes, I caught the tail end of that. I'm perfectly fine with the $25 fee.
So am I.
All
So am
right,
I.
so that's done. So $25 for the inaugural farmers market. Thank you, Kathy, for your time
Thank you.
and your report. All right, then we will go back to our order and
So what I would do, just so everyone's clear, what I would do is I would go ahead and I would, when we do the business, add that to the business and do a vote to make sure that we solidify that that has been done and approved by you all.
okay, so we'll just add it to item HI. Make it item I. Is that fair?
Correct. That's what I would do. That way we have it on record that you all have approved it and it's going forward. That was discussion already happened and now we'll just do the final vote and we're good to go.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so we'll move on to the CERT committee report. Chief?
So last month, the CERT team basically did a combined of 145 hours of meeting time and training and on-site assistance with different projects. And their meeting is the second Saturday of each month at 9 o'clock. That's it.
Thank you. Events committee, Commissioner Lott? Oh, or Kyle, I'm not sure which one.
Sorry. We're gonna have sorry, this is Commissioner Lott. Good evening, everybody. I'm just walking in my door. We're gonna have the next meeting for the events committee Christmas meeting. It's gonna be next Thursday. I believe that's the 6th. I'm sorry, I'm not prepared at this time, but yeah, I believe that's the 6th. And then we'll finalize stuff for Christmas and everybody can vote on what we're gonna do. That's about it I have. Oh, and I know the Halloween, Kyle, can you talk about the Halloween candy? I don't have my notes right now. I'm just walking in the door. Can you talk about the Halloween
no problem.
Event, please?
Of course, Commissioner. Yep. So the 4th annual Trunk or Treat on Main Street's being held on Saturday, October 22nd from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. on Main Street. This is the first time it's back on Main Street since 2019 pre-COVID. We are currently working to order giveaways for that and candy to supplement what the vendors bring. We're also invited a lot more county and state agencies to participate, as well as elected officials, county and state. and federal, just to help beef up the amount of trunks we have. Instead of just having residential trunks, having some other agencies come out, since the events committee is allowing them to pass out informational pamphlets. This
And
time,
candy
so.
or other things.
And candy, yep. We'll be getting some emails out to all the other committees to participating and go from there.
I just want to emphasize there's a date change there real quick, just because we had to move the date back, so we didn't have the Washington International interfering with traffic. Sure, everyone's aware of that. All right.
I'm sorry, what did you say the time was on that? You said October 22nd, what time?
6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m.
Thank
Setup
you.
starts at 5 o'clock though.
Are we gonna have any road closures?
Yes, Main Street between Water Street and Pratt Street will be closed. And we already have the state highway permission for that.
But you'll still be able to go up Water and around onto Odin Bowie, just looping around.
Off.
Sorry, just the little block between like M&T and that triangle where Pratt also comes in, just that little area. So you just won't be able to drive straight through. You'll go around Odin Bowie. Okay. All right, next report here is Greenwell. I don't think they're here. Kyle, do you want to take this?
Yeah, they're working setting up meetings with the county to discuss some of the surplus vacant buildings around town, with the commissioners, also setting up the annual commissioner meeting with the state delegation prior to the 2023 session, and plus we're going to be having some new delegates as well. And then they're also working with me on getting money for some of the bond bills we have. We're still trying to get the 20,000 back for the Pocket Park purchase from the 2019 bond bill, and then also getting the 275,000 bond bill distributed to the town, because we're now paying for phase 2 and 3 playground invoices. So we're keeping them.
Thank you. All right, we'll go to the historical committee.
Hi, a couple of things. We had Isaac Prentice contact us. Can you hear me?
Mhm.
Okay, Isaac Prentice contact us. He's working with the PG County Lynching Project, and he wants us to do some research about the 1878 lynching of Michael Green.
Mhm.
And he's also asking us to see if we had any pictures of the jail. I did send him some of the pictures that we have of the one that was built in 1927, but I don't know if we have any of the pictures back from 1878. But Brian's going to do some research on that and see what we can come up with. For the Civil Rights Trail, we got some pictures from Cheryl Pinkney. She provided a picture of the school and a picture of the principal, and also a picture of one of the graduating classes from, I think it was 1945, 49, somewhere around there. And those were sent to Megan Bako for the Civil Rights Trail. We haven't heard back from her whether they're acceptable for putting that up where one of those signs up on Water Street to mark where Frederick Douglass was, I guess.
Mhm.
And then we also had Cecilia Queen. She has a yearbook from 1945 to 1946 for the Frederick Douglass High School. And we were able to scan the brochure that Cheryl Pinkney had. That was from the Alumni Association. But Cecilia Queen actually has a yearbook from her mom from 1945 to 46 from Frederick Douglass High School. And we're trying we're trying to see if she will provide that to us. We're scanning. She asked some questions about why we were scanning it and what we were using it for. And I think I've provided her enough information that she doesn't think I'm just somebody that wants to take pictures of her yearbook. But that it was that we were working with the Civil Rights Trail to get a picture put up, and that we would give her credit for it. I'm hoping to hear back from her as well. And then, of course, you all are aware that the centennial celebration is Saturday. And we do have Ian coming up the coast that is threatening to rain us out. The current NOAA forecast says it won't start raining till about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but we won't know exactly. I mean, we have to figure out where it hits the landfall and how it comes up the coast as to how that right now they're saying 50% chance of rain at one Saturday around 1 o'clock. But that changes as the trajectory of the hurricane comes up the coast. I'm watching the National Weather Service and some of the NOAA satellite. I work for NOAA, some of the NOAA satellite imagery to see if we can figure it out, as well as the models. The ETA model usually tells, and I'm working with a meteorologist to also find out if he can give me what he believes, looking at the models where he thinks it's going to go. Because as you all have ever seen, it's a spaghetti model and it goes very wide when they don't know where it's going. And so you can use the models to determine where you think it's actually going to go and what speed and where the rain and what kind of rain is going to be. But in case of rain, the antique cars have already said not one drop of rain will hit their cars. So we're working on contingency for that. John's already got at least one limousine to carry them over. And then we also we would be able to move it into Trinity. He's worked with Trinity to see that we can move it into their town hall. So all we have to do is have people stand out in the rain long enough to take a picture and they can all run into Trinity. And then I've got, we're gonna, I think and maybe I should let John talk, but or he can correct me. The program went out for print today. And the script should be available, I think, by tomorrow evening.
Yes, tomorrow night we'll have the script finished.
So once we get the script, then we can do a walkthrough of exactly what everybody is going to be doing and going to be saying and where they're going to be standing and so we have a good idea of a good walkthrough. So we planned on meeting about 5 o'clock on Thursday so just so that our team knows exactly what is anticipated of us, since a couple of us are going to be giving information or speeches or introducing folks. So it's just a feel good and make sure that we're comfortable with what we're doing. So that's all I have for right now, unless anybody has any questions.
I have a question.
Sure.
So this is new for me. So what kind of closures are you going to have for that day?
They're planning on closing it from we're gonna have a lunch, a breakfast, a
Right. So are we going? So the town will be able to walk around town?
So the only road closures that you're gonna see is when we're actually coming down from the town hall. That'll be closed during the entire event, from the town hall down to the Monument Main Street area. And they'll be directing traffic either down Main Street or out through Elm Street and Odenville Drive. Church Street will be closed as well, but closed to through traffic only, which means people who live on Valley Lane, we will let them out and let them back in.
So around, go ahead, Sarah.
Well, I was going to ask, because it's a weird, wonky, complicated kind of closure with the monument. So I was going to ask if Kyle could send the map to the commissioners. Would that be better, or Karen?
Sure.
Okay. Because
Thank you.
It's odd.
But Trinity has they've offered to be a welcome center so that we have a bathroom, a real bathroom. And then they've also offered their hall open if it does rain. So that'll be helpful as well. And
Thank you.
like I said, the program's ready. It was sent out to the printers. So I guess John can probably send you a copy if you guys are interested in what's in the program. We have representatives from all 5 counties. Also, Brooks has given us a video, which I think John's gonna post on Constant Contact. And
Yeah, I
then
just wanted to know what time, sorry, Patty, I'm gonna.
11
cut you off.
o'clock is
I
the
just wanted to
picture.
know, so what time we need to be there?
11 o'clock.
Okay,
11 o'clock, the picture will be taken. After that, it'll be the celebratory speeches and whatnot. But I think you probably want his commissioners to be at the breakfast to greet the dignitaries.
yeah, we're gonna have, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a packet together for all commissioners. You guys will pick that up on, probably Friday. You'll get your packet, which will include a program as well as a copy of the script that you guys can have in advance. We're asking all the commissioners to arrive at 9:30 here at Town Hall. There's a continental breakfast that has been donated from various businesses in the local area. So we'd like for you all to come and partake in the breakfast before the festivities begin. And then you all will be escorted in a either a classic car or limousine down to the, or I should say SUV, down to the staging area down at the monument. Now, if in case of rain, you guys would then be escorted down to the Trinity Church. So that would be the plan. But we're asking all commissioners to be at Town Hall at 9:30 on Saturday morning.
So commissioners are 9:30, but the general public will be going to the monument.
At 11 o'clock. General public will arrive at 11 o'clock, be there at like right at 11, because if you're late, you'll miss the photograph.
And I just want to give a huge shout out to John, who has for some reason been able to make everyone donate everything. I have not seen him with open hands that they have not given him what he's asked for. And just as, I don't know if he's told you, but the person who's providing the cupcakes is going to give us a cake that will be shaped in the shape of a monument, of the monument. And that was donated to us. So, I mean, he's gotten some huge donations from, I mean, he had the stage donated. He's so amazing. So when you see him at the town hall, give him a pat on the back and tell him what a great job he's doing, because he is the glue that's holding this all together. He really is doing a fabulous job of getting folks very interested in coming and very interested in helping us out by donating stuff. And they are being recognized in our program as well. Thank you, John. John, I love you, John. John.
You're welcome.
Yes, John has done a fantastic job. He's really amazing, and everyone is going to be really impressed. When you're impressed on Saturday, you will know that it was John. So if you see him, give him his props, send him an email.
A quick question.
So, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
What is the dress? Is it like town shirt, or should we dress up?
No.
So we're going to dress up, but John will send the commissioners all the info. I just want to try and move us along.
Okay, thank you.
I am going sort of period with the 20s look. I don't know, you guys can or can do if you want to or you don't want to, but it's dressy. We have the Secretary of Transportation coming, and
Yeah, it's
a lot
business
of other
attire.
dignitaries.
Business attire for the day.
So thank you, John. I just want to let Historic know if Cecilia Queen is more comfortable bringing her yearbook up to Town Hall so that she can stay with it while we do the scanning. You can let her know that, and John will take care of her. Or Miss Lucy will take care of her. Both of them can do that. I want to move on to Sustainable Communities Committee report.
Okay. Linda said she could not get in, so I'm gonna provide the report real fast. She told me to let everyone know that Sustainable Communities is having a meeting tomorrow. Hold on. Yep, Sustainable Communities meeting scheduled for tomorrow at 10 a.m. It'll be a webinar. So that is the news that I have to share from Sustainable Communities.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll move into commissioner reports. And do I start that off, I think, right, John?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll kind of go quickly. I've attended several different events with our churches. We did a kale distribution with Providence St. John's and Union United. We are working with the Marlboro Church's Food Bank to do, they are needing to restock their food pantry. So Providence St. John's and the town are also running food drives. You can drop off food at any time. There's a blue bin at Town Hall. Just drop the food off in there and we will collect it for them. Let's see what else I got. Lots of meetings with the county heading up for the big equestrian events. You're going to see some horse themed things going up. Those are simply to welcome the horse folks, make them feel welcome, make them want to come shop at our businesses and spend some money here. We really, really appreciate Experience Prince George's. They have bought us some beautiful new signage. They are installing it for us. They've been amazing throughout the whole process. And we want to thank the Prince George's County Arts Committee or Arts Council. They are going to be acquiring artists, or they have acquired artists to paint these horse sculptures. And we just really appreciate all the counties, inclusion of us and working together with us. The only other thing I just want to let everyone know that we had a ribbon cutting at a Freak Fashion House, and it was fantastic. And Dora is lovely, so go see her. And we'll move on. Commissioner Colbert.
Yeah, so not a whole bunch this month. I attended the ribbon cutting after the ribbon was cut, but got to stop by and see Dora and her family and pick up a little something for myself. And definitely please go by, see her, pick something out. Also went to Cruising on Main, which was my first time attending the event, but was awesome to see all the participation in different cars and conversations that were out there. Recently had an interesting conversation pertaining to different types of programs available for home rehabilitation. So trying to gather some more information on that, and hopefully that's something that as an information guide can get out to the town if anyone's interested in doing any of that type of thing. Also, particularly historic homes. I have one myself, so I can speak to that a little bit, but just still trying to gather some more information on that before dispersing it any more. But and yeah, looking forward to the event on Saturday. That's it.
Thank you. Commissioner Duckett.
Hi, no substantial report, just a couple of questions from individuals in the neighborhood about animals and pets that are, maybe like pit bulls kind of questions about, animals. So, and how we address that. But, and just at this time, of course, since we've already gone over that and we don't have the resources right now, just directed them to contact animal control for any concern. So, or at least, and then also, send that information to the town if they, through a question or whatever, if they need additional support. But outside of us and the Arts Council, I've given my update there. So no other updates right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Hanchett.
Hi, good evening. Not much here. I did attend Cruising on Main, which I thought was amazing. I also attended the pond cleanup, myself and Sarah. We did set up a table. Couple people showed up maybe, but we walked around the pond and got some bags and did some pictures of all the stuff that we cleaned up. That was really nice. That was my first time at one of those events, so I thought that was really cool. I will be attending the MML Fall Conference next month, and I will be there on Saturday, and I look forward to having fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Lott.
Good evening, everyone. I don't have much this month, aside from still working on the Christmas program. I will be also attending the MML fall classes in Annapolis, and I will also be attending the event on Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we will move on to business. And we will start with ordinance 2022-05, establishment of vacant property and agricultural taxes, board vote. I'm going to ask John to read that into the record. Kyle will give us an update, and then I'll read the public comment I took at the hearing for the commissioners that missed it.
All right, reading into the record, ordinance 2022-05, session regular town meeting, introduced August 23rd, 2022. An ordinance requiring the registration of certain vacant buildings and lots, requiring certain owners to register a local agent, allowing for certain exceptions, waivers, and appeals to be granted, providing for certain enforcement actions, liens, and penalties, and generally relating to the taxation, licensing, and registration of real property, and adopting a vacant property and tax classification ordinance, defining vacant developed real property for tax classification purposes, authorizing the revision of established fees by resolution, allowing for citizen exceptions, waivers, and appeals to be granted, creating, defining, and designating certain tax classifications for residential, commercial, vacant developed, and agricultural use real property situated within the town and subject to municipal taxation, providing for certain enforcement actions, liens, and penalties, and generally relating to the taxation, licensing, and registrations of real property.
Thank you, John. Kyle, do you want to just do the overview again? Sorry.
Sure, absolutely. So in addition to establishing a new agricultural tax for the newly annexed agricultural properties, which will bring their tax rate a bit down because they don't require as many town services as agricultural property. That's also puts in place the business and residential vacant property tax rate, which would go into effect in July. This would be if a property is improved in any way, shape, or form. So if there's asphalt, gravel, structures, anything like that, and it's vacant, meaning no one's living there, or if it's a rental, we don't have a standing rental license for it, or if it does not have a registered business there operating with a registered business permit, it could be subject to its increased town tax on it in an effort to ensure property owners and businesses are in compliance with existing rules and regulations on both the county, state, and town level, and also to ensure that property owners just kind of don't keep their property sitting vacant on purpose and not working with the town and the new economic development firm to kind of get those rehabbed and rented out and contributing back to the town and the region.
Thank you. And during the public hearing, there were two comments. Joe Clay commented, is there anything to make the county subject to this? Town Administrator Snyder let him know that there is not anything we can do at this time legally with regards to the lawyer. And then Patty Caldecott was concerned about their property. It looks like one big beautiful property. It's actually two properties, and she was concerned this would affect her, but it will not. So those were the two comments we had. Is there any discussion among the Board of Commissioners about this? Okay.
About what, Mayor? I'm sorry, I missed that last part.
Just about the ordinance. We've been talking about it for a while, so probably we don't have
Oh,
much
no.
else to talk about, and we can go into vote, but.
Okay, yes. Okay, thank you.
All right, so we'll take any additional public comment at the moment. If there is any, just raise your hand and John will call on you. And all right, I don't see any hands. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2022-05, establishment of vacant property and agricultural taxes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
John, will you call the vote?
Yep,
please?
I will call the vote. Yep. President Franklin,
Aye.
Commissioner Colbert,
Aye.
Commissioner Duckett,
Aye.
Commissioner Hanchett,
Aye.
Commissioner Lott.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. And we will move on to item number 2, Charter Amendment Resolution 01-2022, amending section 82-45, lapse of appropriations. This is an introduction, so John will need to read it in, and then Kyle will give us an overview. Thank you, guys.
All right, let me read it real quick. It's Charter Amendment Resolution 01-2022, amending section 82-45, lapse of appropriations. A charter amendment resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the Town of Upper Marlboro, Maryland, amending section 82-45, lapse of appropriations of the Charter of the Town of Upper Marlboro, Maryland, thereby authorizing the creation of certain reserve or other non-lapsing funds to be made available for unanticipated or extraordinary expenses that may be incurred or for any other specific intended purpose as authorized by state statute or ordinance, and authorizing the board to appropriate funds from any reserve established for unanticipated emergency or extraordinary expenses provided in the budget or other ordinance to meet extraordinary or unanticipated expenditures, and providing that reserve funds shall not lapse at the end of the budget year, but shall remain available until appropriated and expended, and amending section 82-56, purchasing and contracts of the Charter of the Town of Upper Marlboro, Maryland, to authorize the president of the Town Board of Commissioners to make certain purchases and execute certain contracts at or below 10,000 without board of approval, and by prescribe that the board by supermajority vote may determine or a different method of competitive procurement, and shall provide by ordinance for certain rules and regulations to conduct competitive bid procurement through requests for proposals, negotiated bids and proposals, and other forms of purchasing, and by subjecting all contracts and purchasing exceeding 75,000 to be approved in writing and made using competitive or other procurement methods, and generally relating to purchasing and contracts, reserve funds, and municipal finance.
Thank you, John. Kyle?
All right, so this charter amendment has been talked about for quite some time. It's a package deal. So tonight we're discussing the charter amendment, a new procurement ordinance, and the purchasing policies for the town. So this charter amendment was prepared by Attorney Best. The board discussed it last month. It has a couple things it does. One of the big ones is allows the town to have a reserve fund, to establish a reserve fund prior. The town technically could not have a reserve fund, but this clarifies that to allow it to happen. Attorney Best advised that a lot of towns had that issue where they kind of rolled money over for projects and stuff, even though their charter technically prohibited them for. So it wasn't an uncommon thing. And while we were touching this, he recommended that be changed. It also changes some of the limits in the procurement processes from the time that the charter was last updated on that subject. So it's before the board now. It will probably see, I don't think we'll see any changes in the charter amendment unless the board wants to sit and discuss the treasurer position. I know the board had some discussions on the treasurer, seeing if that's going to be an elected official or not. So that's something that the board can discuss now, or in a structure government change. It could be applied there as well. I'll be working with John for next month. I'm going to be having a public hearing and whatnot, get it advertised. But that's pretty much it for the charter change. I can take any questions.
I don't have any questions. Of course, I know that we definitely need a reserve fund. I think my comment was in basically regarding what I said last time we discussed this, which was about the oversight of just having someone, but then also having an elected official or someone that is there to oversee the individual. I think I talked about like an elected official still have some oversight, but then we hire someone to actually manage that. So I don't have any, my statement or my thought process hasn't changed from my last comments. So I stand with my previous thought of making sure that we have someone because it is a hefty task. It is definitely a job. So, but having some oversight there as well.
If I'm remembering correctly, what we said was we were to ensure that there was oversight and we thought about it in a comprehensive way, we were going to approve this, and then October, we're going to discuss the structure of government with regard to the financials at the work session. Is that everyone else's memory too? Or just mine?
Can you repeat that?
What we had said was we'll, because we all agreed that there needed to be oversight over all of the financials, but that like there also needed to be more than one elected official involved there, like so that there's some balance there. That we would discuss that structure at the October work session because we thought it needed more in-depth discussion. So that we're comfortable kind of passing this because we know we're going to pass the changes that need to be passed next month. The committee.
This is just an introduction of this ordinance, right? We're not voting on this today, so we would be
Right.
voting on both of them in October. Am I getting that right?
We would discuss the changes at the October work session, and then Kevin would give us a draft of those
introduce.
changes. And probably we would vote on it in November because we would want time. We would want time to make sure the changes are what we want them to be. Though we could have Kevin draft us something for the work.
I think I understand the timeline now. What you're saying is we will discuss the structure. This is being introduced tonight. We'll discuss structure of government at the work session. And so that once we have that worked out, we're comfortable voting on this, knowing that the structure of government change is coming afterward, correct?
They'll be about 30 days apart, basically,
Okay.
with implementation.
Okay. The only other thing I'll say, I agree with Commissioner Duckett. I do think that there needs to be an elected official in some part of this process, whether they're the ones with the treasury duties assigned to them or overseeing whoever, town staff member is doing it. But also I'd be interested in how we are defining the terms emergency. I know part of it is, that you want to leave some room for things that are truly unanticipated, but I'd like to at least think about whatever guardrails we can put around that term so that things aren't just, floodgates wide open.
Yeah. That is a good call. So we'll get into the nitty-gritty on that at the October work session. Any other comments from commissioners before we go to public comment? Okay. John, I think we have public comment, if you can help us with that. I'm trying to find my poster.
Hi, this is Patty. I'm just wondering how the reserved fund is going to work, where it resides, how it's being tracked in the budget, so that it's used as it should be. And what happens, is there a rollover of those reserve funds from one budget to another? How is that reserve funding going? How are you anticipating that reserve fund to work?
So I guess Kyle, you could take this, or I could take this, which is basically we have a reserve fund. It will continue to kind of work the way it works. We just have been maintaining a reserve fund illegally, basically. Was I too blunt?
The mayor's correct. So it's pretty much right now our reserve fund is funds that are kind of left in the bank from year to year that don't get spent. So July 1st, we don't start with a zero balance. We've always kind of carried over funds for the past couple decades. So now that the charter officially allows us to kind of have a reserve fund, we're in, hopefully over the winter, we'll be working on a reserve fund policy with the board to discuss some things, especially like how they want to do it. Some places have reserve funds where you kind of outline some projects, set some reserve funds into it, but the cash is still liquid. So if an emergency happens, you can tap into it, but those funds are kind of dedicated for future projects and just see how they want to move forward with that. And then just some guidelines on the reserve funds, when to use it, when to contribute to it and whatnot. So
So I guess my concern was what they did with it in the town hall where they depleted it and then carried over, although they budgeted for 1 year, which was supposed to be a specific cost for the town hall, then they used the next year to continue to add on what they had already budgeted for, saying that, okay, so we can use 2 budget years to pay for it, which is how they ended up with a town hall that cost significantly more than they had originally stated or budgeted.
So I'm going to answer this in the last few seconds we have left, which is, so this will allow us to create a capital improvements plan, which we legally could not do this year with the budget. That's why there wasn't an official one adopted. That'll mean all the road improvements, building improvements, et cetera, we planned out for multiple years in the future and how much costs are needed. And so the reserve fund will be building up to cover those costs and have its buffer. And then when it hits the point in the capital improvement plan, as long as the finances are where they need to be, then the money will come out as planned and there will still be a buffer. So it will be a lot more plans and there will be a lot more time because the capital improvement plan is over multiple years and it's adopted each budget year. The public will have lots more opportunity to be involved in that process.
Excellent. Thank you very much. That explained it a lot better than what I was hearing.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So there's another public comment.
Hi, this is Evelyn Stevens from Old Mill Road. And again, there's a lot in this, and I understand that this is introduction and you're going to really thoroughly go over this charter amendment resolution. I just have a question about at the bottom of the paragraph. It says to authorize the president of the town board of commissioners to make certain purchases and execute certain contracts at or below $10,000. Okay, I understand that. Then further down, it says, and by subjecting all contracts and purchases exceeding $75,000 to be approved in writing. So it's totally me, I'm sure. But what is going on between the $10,000 and the $75,000? What's happening with monies that you're allocating and obligating between $10,000 and $75,000?
That's covered in the ordinance that we're discussing next, Evelyn. But pretty much, yeah, so it just kind of clarifies that the president can move forward with purchasing some items as long as it's included in the budget, and notifying commissioners for 10,000 below. Right now it's 2,000, but then in writing for over 75,000, that is a written contract. So a lot of our purchases that we don't really require like a formal written contract, but any multi-year contracts or large purchase items, this would require us to have a written contract for those items. But everything between 75 and 10,000, even 10,000 below is governed in the ordinance, the procurement ordinance we're discussing next.
Excellent, thank you. And then one other comment is that thank you, Commissioners Duckett and Colbert. I do agree that we should have some oversight, and thank you for bringing that to the forefront. That's it.
Thank you. All right. I don't see any other public comment. So I will move us on to the procurement ordinance. And John will need to read that into the record. Thank you.
So, ordinance 2022-06, session regular town meeting, introduced September 27, 2022, an ordinance governing and providing rules and regulations regarding town purchases and contracts consistent with section 82-56 of the town charter as amended.
Thank you.
So discuss, this is going with the charter amendment. hand in hand. It won't go into effect until the charter amendment is fully in effect. So they're going to be passed as a group. So pretty much let's add some more detail to the charter change and some more clarification, just to kind of free up the charters. That's the basic limits, and then the ordinance gets into the nitty gritty, and then the policies really get into the nitty gritty of the financial operations. So this was drafted by Attorney Best based on all the feedback and items the board wanted to see. We'll probably see some changes in this and in the policies between now and the next board discussion, as I work with the town attorney and the accounting firm to go through some more details and just double checking the limits are correct and working across all these, and the emergency operations ordinance that the town has, which also delegates emergency purchasing power. So there's a couple areas that we're just cross-checking, making sure everything, the T's are dotted or T's are crossed and everything like that. There was one thing I know we discussed is possibly putting it in the ordinance, not the charter, about just clarifying that it's an elected official in the treasurer position overseeing. After speaking with Attorney Best, he advised that that would have to be a charter change to do that. I know we were trying to do a short-term solution fix, put it in an ordinance. That way it still says it in there, but he clarified that that had to be on the charter level. So that's one thing that I wanted to bring up.
And just to be clear, if we're uncomfortable with where we are with changing that structure of government and getting that oversight in there after the October work session, we can choose to not vote on the charter change or procurement ordinance October. We can choose to push that vote to November so that they can be ready together. So I don't want anyone to feel like they're being rushed if those oversights are in place, because I think all 5 of us were in agreement on that. Does anyone have any questions, comments?
I don't have any questions at this time. I just need to be able to kind of flesh this out a little bit more thoroughly. It's a lot of little extra reading for me. So I need a little bit more time to like kind of, yeah, just flush it out. And I think I'll be ready.
Okay, we do have public comment, so we'll go to that.
Joe Clay, Old Marlboro Pike. I lost connection, so I don't know if this was discussed at all. The procurement ordinance was enacted when I was a commissioner, in part because of questions proprietary of what was being done in the commission before us, and our president at the time was not willing to create an ethics board. So it was sort of a compromise to try to at least limit how much could just be spent out of hand without it going through a public meeting. So just let.
Thank you. And just for people's security as well, we are talking about an ethics board next month as well. All right, I don't see any other public comment. And since that was just introduction, we can go on to resolution 2022-20, policy and town credit cards, invoice payments and deposits. This doesn't have to be read in, does it, John? No, Kyle's saying no. So go ahead, Kyle, take it away.
There's no physical ordinance yet or resolution yet. We didn't want to overwhelm everyone. Pretty much the resolution for this would just be authorizing these policies. So it's a very quick resolution. So we don't want to throw 3 pieces of legislation at you guys. You'll see it at the October work session. But pretty much the policies are the nitty gritty, the day-to-day operations of the town's financial responsibilities. It's been drafted with the accounting people's insight and working with department heads and how to best efficiently work through everything with credit cards and expenditures and how deposits are handled and whatnot. And then using our new bill.com system in there as well. So like I said, we'll probably see some minor changes in these policies. And then we'll see some future financial policies as well, such as the reserve fund and usage and whatnot. But yeah, this is, I can answer any questions anyone has.
Questions or comments, commissioners? I know this is like the third or fourth time we're seeing it, so. All right, if public has any comment, if you can raise your hand. All right. We will move on to the next item, which is a board vote. It is request for proposals, facilities cleaning firm. Kyle, do you want to?
Sure. So the board's discussed
let
that
them-
it's been developed. So we just need board approval to kind of release the RFP out to the public, and then it'll the board will be, I think, discussing the proposal received at the November work session for awarding at the November town meeting.
Questions, comments from commissioners? Public, just raise your hands and that way we'll get to you when we get there. Okay. Hearing no comment, I don't see any raised hands in the public. So I'm going to ask if there is a motion to approve the request for proposal regarding facilities cleaning firm.
Yes, so moved.
Is there a second?
Second,
John, can you call the vote for us, please?
I sure will. President Franklin,
Aye.
Commissioner Colbert,
Aye.
Commissioner Duckett,
Aye.
Commissioner Hanchett,
aye,
Commissioner Lott.
Aye.
The motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. We will go on to the request for proposals media relations firm. This is also a board vote. Kyle?
Yes, so the board's been discussing for some time, so it says 2 years was the last time, or just over 2 years was the last time the town reviewed the social media contract, so we're just rebidding it out again with some minor changes, social media going from a monthly retainer to an hourly rate. Yeah, so pretty much once the board approves, they'll get released. We'll be accepting people through October. Then the board will be reviewing the proposals that come in October at the November work session with hopefully an awarding of the contract at the November town meeting.
Any questions or comments? Public, if you have comments, raise your hand, so we'll get to you after the commissioners.
Did we determine what the hourly rate would be? I just don't see it in.
We kept it open to them in their proposal, but we did put a budget in there, a rough budget, but it's up to them to kind of give us that hourly rate.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, hearing no further comment and seeing no raised hands, I'll ask if there's a motion to approve the request for proposal for media relation firms.
Yes, so moved.
Is there a second?
second,
John, would you call the vote for us? Please.
Sure will. President Franklin,
Aye.
Commissioner Colbert,
Aye.
Mr. Duckett,
Aye.
Commissioner Hanchett,
aye,
Commissioner Lott.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll move on now to the bylaws for the Town of Upper Marlboro Arts Council. Kyle, do you want to introduce them?
Sure, yeah. The bylaws are pretty much roughly based off some of the other committee bylaws. There's some stuff put in here. There's some discussion made about we brought up the 3-person board versus the 7-person board, but I know the Arts Council had some discussions about wanting more voting members. So I think that's these bylaws do call for some voting, I think up to 7 voting members. So that's something the board wants to look at or discuss tonight. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, it still says appoints a minimum of 7 members. Did they want to just keep that, Commissioner Duckett, come what may? Or should we table this, do you think? Oh, you're muted.
I haven't received, thank you. I haven't received feedback on that, even though it was put out there. So I'm not quite sure. And with that being the case, and I know I don't want to make a determination without them having the ability to determine that for themselves, because, I would prefer to table it so that they could really have a chance to rehash it out.
Yeah, I don't want them to get stuck in having to get 7 people.
Right.
So,
Yes.
is anyone
So
opposed to tabling it? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm fine with tabling it, and then I'll just reach back out, kind of like shoot an email out maybe after this call and see if, maybe we'll be able to get a conversation going and reintroduce this.
I know they probably were all in on the happy leaf too, right? So that distracts
yes,
them.
yes. It was a lot going on, and I know Kathy and them, they did all the work.
Yes,
they did it all. So yes. Yeah, so tabling it will be great. Thank you for the next meeting.
So we'll formalize that. Is there a motion to table the bylaws for the town of Upper Marlboro's Arts Council?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
John, can you call the vote for us,
I
please?
sure will. President Franklin,
Aye.
Commissioner Colbert,
Aye.
Commissioner Duckett,
Aye.
Commissioner Hanchett,
Aye.
Commissioner Lott.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we will move on to December 2022 meeting and office closure schedule. It's the board vote. We kind of just looked at the holidays, came up with a schedule that we think is doable. So Kyle, do you want to present?
Absolutely. So every year we look at the holiday schedule in the winter time, December, January, and just see how that conflicts with town meetings and office closures and whatnot. So after looking at that, look at the meetings based off the conversations we had last month at the work session, staff's proposing the below schedule where we're shifting the meetings up a week. So the work session will be on Tuesday, December 6th. And the regular town meeting will be on Tuesday, December 20th. So it'll be the first and third week, because the fourth, where the town meeting would be the week between Christmas and New Year's. So that would be kind of crazy for staff and commissioners and the public to join. So that's the one part, is moving both those meetings up. And then the second part is the proposed town office closures. So right now we're proposing closing town hall half day on Friday, December 23rd, and then closing it all day on Monday, the 26th, and Friday, the 30th. And the reason we're doing Monday, the 26th works for us because even though per our trash pickup schedule, they are contracted to pick up as long as the Monday does not fall on the 25th of December. But the county is observing the 26th as a holiday, so the landfills are closed. So if they picked up the trash, they couldn't dump it anyways. So we're just moving all trash, bulk trash, yard waste, and regular trash pick up to Tuesday. So that's the calendar that we're looking at. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns with it.
Questions, concerns?
Yeah,
comments?
you guys celebrating my birthday on the 30th? What's with Friday? Is that instead of the 1st or something? Or is that just I'm just
that's
curious
the-
what that is.
New Year's holiday observed.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's for the New Year's. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my birthday. I thought we were making a town event out of it.
Because they're so close together, I think you only get 1 week of that shorter rather than 2 weeks where everyone's pulling their hair out on Tuesday because they weren't there on Monday. And so I think everyone can enjoy that a little more. So that was my suggestion.
You stuck with 2 days, so I'm good with it.
Yeah. Public, if you have comments, just raise your hand while we're discussing. Not hearing any other discussion and not seeing any hands raised, I'm going to ask if there is a motion to approve the December 2022 meeting and office closure schedule.
So move. So.
Is there a second?
Second,
Second,
John, can you call the vote, please?
Yes, President Franklin,
Aye.
Commissioner Colbert,
Aye.
Commissioner Duckett,
Aye.
Commissioner Hanchett,
aye.
and Commissioner Lott.
aye.
Motion carries. Thank you so much.
And we did add one item, which was to waive the vendor fee for the inaugural farmers market and set the fee at $25. Going to give a chance for public to raise their hand on that before we vote. Seeing no hand, oh, okay, we have a hand up.
Joe Workley, Old Marlboro Pike. I would suggest waiving it entirely. You know, with the first, you have no idea how many people are even going to show up. So you don't want disgruntled vendors.
I'm just going to clarify that we are going to charge a fee, or the reason the farmers market committee, like part of the Green Team committee, suggested that we charge this fee. And we believe that people will pay it because of the Washington International Horse Show being at the same time. And so there's a pretty big market. So.
Okay.
Unless other commissioners have other opinions. All right. So I am going to ask if there is a motion to waive the vendor fee for the farmers market and establish the fee at $25 for this inaugural market.
Yes, so move.
Is there a second?
Second,
Second,
John, would you call the vote for us, please?
Yes, President Franklin,
Aye.
Commissioner Colbert,
Aye.
Commissioner Duckett,
Aye.
Commissioner Hanchett,
aye.
Commissioner Lott.
aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, John. We'll move on to administrative items. There is one sort of last minute approval. Kyle can explain, but I will just say that that we're having this kind of issue. We created the events policy, but this is on me. We failed to send it to our typical historic people who do events in the town. And so we are a little bit sending, having those applications come in on a shorter time frame than we were hoping for. And so that's why we're looking at this application at this time, and we are updating these folks so that they are aware of the new policies for next year.
Yep, that's applications for the annual homecoming parade for Frederick Douglass High School. They're asking to have it on Saturday, the 8th of October. There are some initial concerns because the police shredded event is happening that same day, and the commitment of town resources could be limited because of that. But after Chief spoke with the school resource officer, and Chief, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but the school resource officer is they're pulling county resources for this event. So there's no really need for the town to kind of assist with it. And because it's a historic event that they've done every year downtown, looking to move it forward. But yeah, hopefully, like the mayor mentioned, hopefully next year we'll have much more of a heads up. But I know they're kind of busy with the school year starting, getting the schedule figured out. But
Are there any concerns about this event? I don't know. if, I think Commissioner Duckett is aware of the event. I don't know if like Commissioner Lott and Commissioner Hanchett and Commissioner Colbert have heard it or seen it in the past, but they kind of start up at the school board. And then they come down Oak Green. They're going down Main Street, coming back up Odin Bowie, and then coming back up along Marlboro Pike and Crane Highway to get back to the school board. My kids love it because they think it's their own personal parade.
Is this, I'm just sorry, I just missed it because I was trying to get to the Arts Council. But anyway, this was about the parade, the parade that normally would happen in September? Of course not. But what was this about?
It normally happens in October. It's a homecoming parade.
Oh, the homecoming. I thought it was September because the very first time when I moved into my house anyway, there was a whole marching band coming down the street. I was like, wow, this is a great town. A marching band coming down the street. And I moved in my house.
What is it in celebration of? Like,
it's their homecoming parade. And they've always done it downtown. They were originally, Frederick Douglass was originally in Upper Marlboro. And so they just traditionally have done it here.
The only question I have is the last couple of times they've stopped coming down School Lane and around, and now they've chosen another route. And I thought it was a good prepping or staging area for them to use, like the school and all of that, because they would park in there and everyone would get ready and kind of move out from that way and come down this street and go around the neighborhood and out. And I don't know what happened. I was like, now we don't see them at all.
Yeah, sometimes they go that way, and then sometimes they go twice by my house.
Oh, you get it twice, Sarah. Well, we need it once over here in this cold neighborhood. You get it twice. We just want it once to come down around the U-turn.
But it's because Karina dresses up like a princess and goes outside. They organized their whole parade around that, I'm sure.
They do like participation, because I was out there one time with my little pom-poms. So they do like participation.
Is it possible they came down Rectory? Because I remember a parade coming down Rectory. But I think that had to do with the civil rights thing at that.
No, it might have been that.
So I'm just curious if it was the same thing or not. I mean, I don't have to use the meeting to ask this question, but I'll ask someone later.
I'm sure they planned the route with like their police officers, but I can let Principal Scott know you guys want him to go by your house next year.
Why not?
It was nice.
Let them have fun. Let them go where they want. I'm fine with it. Let them celebrate.
All right, so it sounds like we're all approving this application. Kyle, do we need to vote officially?
Yeah, it's a board vote to approve it.
Okay.
And to make a motion to approve and waive the application fee, please.
Oh, waive the application fee.
75.
All right, so
Non-profit, that's a given.
Is there a motion to approve the application for parade or special event for the Frederick Douglass Homecoming Parade and waive the application fee?
Yes, so moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, President Franklin,
Aye.
Mr. Colbert,
Aye.
Commissioner Duckett,
Aye.
Commissioner Hanchett,
Aye.
Commissioner Lott. Commissioner Lott,
Aye.
All right. Kyle, do you have any other administrative updates or?
Goodness, between the horse shows happening, we have of course the event Saturday, working through that, the horse show, food truck festivals, the Water Street Bridge will be closing on the 30th of September for about 6 months until DPW&T can install a new temporary pedestrian bridge until the state highway can install the permanent, or state highway is installing another temporary pedestrian bridge.
Just the pedestrian bridge. Only the
Yeah.
pedestrian bridge is closing and there's a temporary one coming from the county.
Yeah.
When is the Water Street Bridge? Is next summer, right?
Yeah, they're putting out to bid this year. We'll probably see it, construction start in 2024. The one thing, big thing that has been added to those plans is, State Highway is installing their own temporary pedestrian bridge. So pedestrians will still be able to cross, but no vehicular traffic will be able to cross while they're working on the traffic bridge.
I was hoping for one lane.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously people were concerned because that we now are shut off from the equestrian center for pedestrians. Like there, so the county is running some extra shuttles. There is no safe way to move pedestrians on the Water Street Bridge. So there was a lot of discussion with the county and the state on all of that. It just, it's not.
Well, we hope they get it done sooner than later.
I did just want to update everyone so that this doesn't come out of the blue. There have been some concerns with the cleaning company that is doing the cleaning. Kyle's office hasn't been cleaned in a few weeks. There's just like a couple of issues. So we have the RFP out, but if the issues continue so that the office isn't getting cleaned regularly, we may come to you guys next month requesting a temporary firm to come in and do that cleaning. And so I want to make sure everyone is aware of this because it would actually, if it's over the $2,000 limit, then we would be voting on a temporary, like 2-month contract. I don't know if it will be a contract, and we would be doing it at the October work session. If it is under $2,000, we're just gonna, not be paying the one that's not cleaning and pay someone that is cleaning. But I don't want that to come out of the blue for anyone. So, any questions or concerns for me about that? Okay. We will move on to general public comment. Go ahead and raise your hand and John will call on you in the order that allows him to keep track of you best.
All right, Evelyn Stevens.
Hello again, everyone. This is a question concerning the status of the repaving of particularly Old Mill Road, but I know that others are slated to be repaved. So I'm asking for a status.
Yes, we are working with the company, Mead and Hunt, but I know that your situation is different. So I know that Director Bond was going to look at a temporary solution at the end of your street until the actual paving begins. Because I think you might need a temporary solution when you're pulling out there across from the post office. But there's been a little discussion over the contract, which we are working out, which is what the delay is.
Okay, thank you. So just one more question concerning that delay. Do you think that it will, is it going to be a long delay, or how do you feel about the conversations that you've had?
It's not going to be a long delay. It's just me, and I think because I think the board would agree with me to say we agreed on a price and we need you to honor that. So
thank you. Hold their feet to the fire. Okay, I understand.
So that's just my unwillingness to I'm quibbling over not a lot of money, but enough that I'm quibbling. So
I understand. Thank you for that, because especially with the temporary paving, because as you mentioned, that area at the end, as you go by the post office, that's really, really bad for traffic going through.
Yeah, we're just, that's probably going to be a price that we have to approve. So Director Bond is working on that. So we haven't forgotten about you, and I won't quibble long enough to delay this, but I will quibble enough to try to get the price back where it belongs.
Thank you. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Next, I have Patty Calicott.
Okay, first of all, Brian and I did do a canoe trip down the Western Branch. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I didn't know what that noise was. And we did get pictures of pallets, and I have to say, the first picture we took was right around the corner by the equestrian center.
But Alex from mostly gone.
But most of the pallets were gone, and the ones that are there are the same ones that were huge, that had like 4 or 5 pallets further down the river. So we owe Kyle pictures. And are they still getting feed $1,000 a day or whatever that was? Because you guys probably made a bunch of money.
We didn't, the state did.
Okay, well, the state makes a lot of money. They can kick it over to us for our work. The other thing is does anybody have a time for what the road closures are gonna be for the parade? When's
Oh.
the parade that's coming in?
Yeah, it's on here. You're right. So the parade will start at 9 a.m. and it will end at noon, but they won't have the road closed for that long. They never do.
It's a roving closure, so it'll be police
Yeah.
cars moving, blocking intersections, moving, reopening.
Okay. And the last one is for police bursts. I have very much noticed that there has been police presence at night. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your policemen are probably bored, but it really makes me feel better knowing that we have our police on duty patrolling our town. So that's all I had.
Thank you.
Next, I have Joe Hortland.
Joe Clay, Old Marlboro Pike. I missed the date of the trunk or treat. Was that the 22nd, the Saturday or the Sunday?
It's this Saturday and it was moved because of the quantity of traffic from Washington International and our concern for security and safety.
Okay. Because it's on a Saturday and starting at 5 o'clock, the library doesn't close until it's being closed off. So you may need to make sure to specially notify them for them to move their cars out before you shut the road down.
Yep, we've talked to Amy about it.
Okay.
All right. I don't see any other new hands up. So I'm gonna have us move on to the preliminary approval of the next meeting's agenda. I went through our rolling agenda list. And I also have one thing I just want to kind of tack on. So I'm going to throw that up and then everyone can add or subtract as needed. So government structure specifically with related to financials, but we may go down the track of the whole thing. The parking ordinance was on target for that time. The entertainment tax, I don't know if we're still good for that. And then, so there was an ethics board that was pointed out that most towns have an ethics board. We don't, so we should have one. And then kind of what I want to bump onto that and tack onto that is something we've discussed a little bit, which is like just, you know, standards, I guess, of behavior for people representing the town. But there are also some incidents last week that I've talked to 2 of the commissioners about so far. And I think we need to have some standards of behavior. Basically, you know, Okay, so we have some property owners, some business owners that are harassing employees, customers, people on the street. And I think we want to look at creating some rules and consequences around that. So I'm asking that we add that, even though it wasn't on the rolling agenda. Do commissioners or staff have concerns, additions, etc.? Everyone's good with it? I can't tell if everyone just.
Question, ethics board?
Yeah, I was
What's
gonna
an
ask for
ethics
more
board?
information.
Sorry, I didn't hear your question.
I'm sorry, somebody else spoke.
Mia, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm very sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
You said ethics board. I thought that's what the Board of Election or Supervisors of Election is.
I'm just gonna ask John or Kyle to explain what an ethics board is and what they do, because I know towns have them, but I don't fully understand them. And
Thank you.
probably John, because he's a town clerk, so he's in the weeds on that, right?
Ethics boards are where residents or members of the public can go and file a complaint. If there's an issue where they feel that something is amiss within the government or the municipality, they can go before the ethics board and they can have that complaint reviewed by a team of residents that are, most of the time you have attorneys, people like that serve on the ethics board that know certain things. And what they do is they basically will hear the complaint and then they will make a recommendation as to what the remedy should be. But it more or less keeps everyone in check. It's checks and balances, and it serves a good purpose in many ways.
Yeah, so in other words, in general, instead of not just the election, just the town in general. That makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, other questions, additions, concerns, subtractions?
So Mayor, I just want to make sure everybody understands what you were just talking about was not in reference to the ethics board, right?
No, they're separate. I just
Right.
tied them in my head because ethics.
Thank you, because that was my
No.
question. Like, okay, we just need to have some bylaws regardless of whatever happened.
Yes, the ethics board is
Okay.
completely separate.
Okay,
The
that
standard,
makes sense.
yeah, I'm just not coming up with the right way to phrase it right now, or in the last few days. That's going to be separate from the ethics board. That's going to be something that is a law of ours that, us and town staff will be enforcing. Okay. I guess that done.
Mayor, I wanted to say one more thing. If anybody read the police report for last month, I think it says there's 12 hold-up alarms on there. There were not actually 12 hold-up alarms. It was an alarm that was malfunctioning, giving one address, but it was actually at another address. So an individual business had a remote alarm that was triggering the holdup alarm, but the address was coming up to an entirely different business. So we were going to the business and they're like, we didn't do anything. So we had to reach out to the alarm company and they found out that the business that was actually triggering the alarm was across the street. So there was actually 0 holdup alarms, but I had to put it on there, but it's not actually holdup alarms like we would think. So I just wanted the public to know that.
There were no holdups at either business. There were just
Correct.
issues with the alarm system.
Yes.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. John, you want to call the vote?
Sure will. President Franklin,
Aye.
Commissioner Colbert,
Aye.
Mr. Duckett,
Aye.
Commissioner Hanchett.
Aye.
Mr. Lot,
Aye.
motion carries.
All right, guys, we'll see you all Saturday.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone. See you Saturday.